So I've been getting messages in my Discord as well as in the general comments section talking about ICN, or the Impossible Cloud Network. I went ahead, reached out to them afterward, and went ahead and secured about 40 tier 1 whitelist spots that end in the next 24 hours. So you don't have a lot of time to think about whether or not you actually want this thing. If you do, by the way, go to our Discord, go to Legion, just tag me, and I'll go ahead and get you some spots. But Impossible Cloud Network is trying to do something that pretty much no one has been able to do in the blockchain space just yet. It's a market that is really big. In fact, if you want to look at how big this market could potentially be, the cloud infrastructure network market went ahead and grew from $233 billion to $262 billion in 2024. And it's projected over the next 10 years to grow to about $837 billion. Like a really, really, really big market. And not only are they just saying that they could compete in this market, they have the proof. Because within their first year of operations, they've secured about 2.3 million ARR, which represents annual recurring revenue. This is money that's coming in every single year for them. $2.3 million already on their first year, projected to grow over 10x over just the course of another year. A lot of growth here for the cloud infrastructure sector. I'm going to be covering it in today's video. Full disclosure, I will be investing about $5,000 into Impossible Cloud Oracle nodes. If you want to get into it, if you'd like to support the channel, use code GM. It gives you a discount and also goes ahead and supports me. So let's get into it. Aether was one of the big projects that we got into. This was probably the most successful node sale that we've actually gotten into. We got a lot of sales and pretty much everybody's in profit already. Everybody's already unlocking their tokens. They're doing great. They love Aether. I mean, it's easy as that, right? Aether launched at about, I don't even know, it was like 250 mil and then about a $3 billion FTV. And since then, they've been doing pretty well for themselves. Inflation's going, but the volume is there to support the price action. And so everybody in Aether loves Aether because they got in at a lower valuation than other people. They got in at about 200, 300 mil. Now their project's at 3 billion FTV. How can we deduce whether or not a node sale is good? Well, it's based on the pricing that this thing's going to be at. There are a lot of people, and this is a new meta, and this is something that I very, very strongly believe. The KOL round stuff and the early public sales that were happening back in early 2024 were terrible. I mean, it was clear as day. They weren't good for investors, everybody in between. They didn't get the strongest valuations. And so what's happening now is that valuations have gotten so low, even during a time where altcoin season is beginning to pick up. I mean, we're seeing some of these projects go hundreds upon hundreds of percents up in a short amount of time. Valuations have gone so low in the angel investing space, etc., that we're getting like this very weird situation where people that are buying in quote unquote public and whitelist sales are getting tiers that are actually more competitive, that are better than what the venture capital funds got in at. The VCs are paying more money than you are paying for the nodes, which to me is kind of crazy that we're even at that state in the market right now. And so what's happening right now, and this is with Impossible Cloud Network as well, is not only is this a company that has already proven that they can go ahead and get some money and is likely going to have an enormous amount of growth, and already has a ton of partnerships and is an enterprise-grade solution, but they're also giving you a better valuation than the venture capital funds that got in. And something even more interesting that I've noticed about these newer node sales is that the node sales are more skewed toward the tier ones. Usually, this would be the exact opposite, where most of the nodes would be down here where it's way more expensive. But if you actually look at the node sale for ICN, you're going to see that most of the nodes here, 25,000 of them, are on tier 1. So if you get on tier 1 with the discount JM, then one can deduce not only are you getting in at a much cheaper valuation than the venture capital funds got in, but you're also getting the most attractive pricing for it, which I think is an absolutely insane thing. When we look back at this in a year from now, it's going to be obvious. It's just, this doesn't happen in crypto. Usually VCs, they get in much better pricing, much better terms, and they dump all over retail. But this is like the first time in a very small pocket. I mean, this has been the past like 4 months where nodes are actually better value than what the VCs got. And that never happens. And that's not to say that, oh, if I bought tier 10, it's the same valuation. Guys, it's not the same. It's not the same at all. 82 million is not the same as 403 million or 311 million. You don't want to get these top tiers over here, which get ridiculously expensive. You want to make sure that you're on tier 1, pretty much. Once you go to tier 2, the valuation spikes 20 million. Even more than that, you do the discount code. Sure, it gets a little bit closer to the VCs. But tier 1 is really where you want to be at these days. I want you to also understand that these nodes coming out these days, the initial supply is giving you something. This is something that wasn't a thing back then. Back then, you would farm the Tesla and then you would get a little bit of tokens. But now they're just blatantly just giving you tokens. If you actually go ahead and look at ICN's tokenomics structure, you're going to notice that you get about 15% of your tokens unlocked immediately. This is a new thing. This didn't exist before. This has been a newer meta, which I think is much better. You get price action immediately. People get to offload tokens if they want to. The decision is there. It gives people freedom to go ahead and dump if they want to, which I think is amazing, beautiful. We want people to be able to do that. 85% of it is unlocked over 48 months aggressively, which I think is fine. And that's pretty fine tokenomics. So as long as, we could deduce more than likely this bull market will last until late 2025 into 2026 maybe. We can see that more than likely, as long as the valuation is somewhere around 160 to, in the worst case scenario, like 320 mil, which if you look at Aether, this thing's at $3.2 billion. And then Carve at that same point is, what is this? 1.02 billion, so $1 billion FDV. If it gets anywhere near these, it's a huge success, an absolutely huge success. There's no guarantee that it'll get there, which is why you need to do your own research. You need to make sure that you understand the risk of holding a coin for 48 months, which is a very long time. If it gets there, then this is an absolute banger of a play. This is something that you should know about their team, which I think will be huge in deciphering what's actually going on here. Their CEO and co-founder was a serial entrepreneur with a PhD in law. He was a founder and CEO of Good Game Studios, leading the company to over 1,000 employees and combined revenues of over 1 billion euros. That's a lot of money. In 2018, he took the company public on the NASDAQ in a reverse merger and received the EY Entrepreneur of the Year award. Very, very cool. But also, Mr. Christian Call over here, the COO and co-founder, also joined Good Game Studios to lift its accumulated sales revenues to over 1 billion euros, which is great. And now they're into Impossible Cloud Network. Makes sense. Now, what are these nodes and why are they useful? Well, a lot of these projects need to have something to make sure that it's decentralized, that everything's working right. And so they're selling Oracle nodes, which of course there's also the fundraising, which is great for projects. Projects love fundraising more money, but they're integral to the functioning of the actual network because they monitor the performance and make sure that the requirements of these little oracles are good so that the oracles are actually doing what they're supposed to be doing, aka the SLAs. So the Oracle nodes, they maintain the network's integrity and reliability, ensuring that the HPs deliver the service that they promise. That's it. That's literally all you need to know about what the Oracle's nodes do and what they're used for. A lot of projects these days, they need to have some sort of verification process for their blockchain, for their product, and that's why they put nodes out there for the public market. In terms of dates that you want to look for, the whitelist is going to be on December 3rd, and the public sale is going to be on December 5th. If you're buying on the public sale, best of luck. I hope you get the tiers that you want. If you are trying to get into the whitelist, we've got about 75 whitelists. If you join, link in the description, Legion, just ask for whitelist. I'll be able to provide whitelist for you. In my opinion, getting whitelist at under venture capital pricing is the #1 way to make money in crypto long-term. I'm sick and tired of people that talk to me about meme coins and how meme coins got me all these crazy returns. Personally, what's been most successful for me have been the Myrias, have been the Aethers, have been the Carves, have been the crypto nodes that have accumulated over the course of a long time rewards. Also, my long-term conviction bets, XRP, XLM, HBAR, Avalanche, these crypto bets that have awarded me just so much more than any meme coin has ever awarded me. And that's because long-term bets with conviction on good products will just do well. And so if you can get in really early at a solid valuation here on whitelist, then you're going to absolutely go ahead and kill it, is the idea. Of course, there's the risk that this project doesn't do what it says it's going to do and it just dies instantly, which is why I always tell people, please don't put your entire life savings into a node project. It is ridiculous to put everything into something that is a 48-month vest. But if you put a healthy amount, if you take a healthy just due diligence grab at the NFT and you try to see what's going to happen from there, I don't see a problem with that. In terms of the Impossible Cloud Network, do I think that they can actually do what they're saying they're going to do? I do. I mean, they've already proved that they already have the annual recurring revenue necessary to be able to make this a reality. They're also saying, hey, you know what? If we're more affordable, if we're more competitive through our marketplace, then I don't see why not people would go ahead and adopt these things. And we're solving a very important thing, which is the DPIN verification challenge. One of the key innovations that they bring to the table is solving this problem. Ensuring the trust and reliability of a decentralized network is a big challenge. But through their innovative SLA Oracle network and verification processes, which is the part of nodes that's so important, they guarantee the network's integrity and performance. No longer do you have to guess. We have nodes that are specifically catered to go ahead and making sure that these nodes are just SLA good, very good, that they're meeting the requirements that they need to go ahead and meet. And that's really it. At the end of the day, if we have the most competitive prices and we also ensure efficient allocation of resources, I don't see why not you'd be using something like the Impossible Cloud Network or similar products. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you're someone that wants to go ahead and participate in the sale, we have whitelist spots in Legion. Use code JM for a discount. And until the next time, stay classy. And that's all.